but I'll make a video later on that I use for a princess that for English, test 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 that for English. I made that statement a while ago. I think it's time I redeem myself. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the video where I show you how to draft a princess that English style. So the first thing we'll do is we'll fold using bust divided by 4 plus the allowance that we intend to add. That's what we're going to use to fold the fabric. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark all my vertical measurements. That is my under bust length, my half cut, and from there I'll count 4 inches up and I'll place my bust. So the under bust length minus 4 inches will tell you where to place your bust measurements. Then I would rule horizontal lines across these points. Just redefining everything. So after that, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place my shoulder measurements. Then I'm placing my neckline. At this point you can place whatever you are making. If you are making a sweetheart neckline, if you are making a round neck like mine, whatever you are doing, you place the neckline there. After that, I'm going to slope my shoulder by 1 inch. And then I'm going to place my armhole. So the formula for finding the armhole is the bust divided by 6 plus 1.5. So that's 7.1. So I'm marking 7.1 all the way down. I'm going to rule a line across that point, and then I'm going to come to the middle of 7.1 and I'm going to come in by half an inch. I'm going to make a curve. You see that from the shoulder to half an inch, then I curve out. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place my horizontal measurements, which are my bust first of all at 8.5, and then I'm going to come to my half cut and I'm going to place my under bust round, which is 7. Now in case you guys wonder why I always ignore the line in the center, which is my under bust length, is because it's not be nice if I have a curve that is broken like that, giving me an angle there. The reason why I like having my under bust length measurements placed is so that it's because it tells me where to place my half cut measurements and where to place my bust measurements. So in as much as I don't use it all the time when I'm trying to do the shaping on the side, it doesn't mean it is useless. It tells me where to place other measurements, which are my bust bust and my half length. Now the difference, this is where you would see the clear difference between the two different methods that I use depending on what I'm making. Now when I'm making English wear, first thing I do is I measure around the armhole just like I did the other, and at this point I'm going to come to my bust point and I'm going to place my nipple to nipple measurements everywhere from top to bottom. So that's my nipple to nipple measurement, that I've placed at my bust, my half cut and my under bust round. Then I'm going to connect that line to my shoulder as you've seen. Now for the princess that I'm going to do the curve. Now in the video where I made for padded princess that, I did half inch up and 1 inch down. Here I'm doing half inch at the top and half inch at the bottom, and that's what I have done there. And for the at the under bust round, I'm not coming up by half inch like I usually do to create that lift. I'm marking 1 inch on both sides of the line. You see that 1 inch on both sides of the line. I'm not pushing the 2 inches to the side of my bodies. Okay, so now I'm going to connect that center line to the 1 inch on both sides. Right, I hope that this is clear enough. Okay, in the previous video that I made up for my padded princess that, I pushed all the darts to the side of my bodies, but now I've distributed the 2 inches to both sides of the bodies. Now what we're going to do is at that ½ inch that we marked at the both sides of that line, we're going to taper back into the bodice, into the bust, and bring it down. I hope that's clear enough. And when I'm done with that, I'm going to increase the length of the bottom armhole by 1 inch so that it meets the top when we are joining it. So the 2 inches that I took away from the down part, I have replaced it on the side and I've drawn a straight line. Then after that, I have just placed my allowance. So I hope everything is clear. So half at the armhole we did ½ inch up and down. At the under bust length we did 1 inch on both sides, and then I paid back my allowance, paid back the 2 inches on the side before I added my allowance of 1.5 inches. So I'm trying to show you how you're going to cut it out so that you don't make a mistake after so much hard work when you're trying to cut out the pattern. Please do not forget to slant your shoulder. So this is the front of the princess. That's time for the back. Now the dress I'm making doesn't have any zip space, but yours probably will. So what you would do is, before you start drafting, make sure you add your zipper allowance before you start drafting the back. Okay, well, the outfit that the dress I'm making does not need zip space at the back, so I'm not going to add that here. I'm not adding that to the blue fabric that I've been drafting with. So exactly what we did before, we mark under bust length, bust and half cuts. Then we will rule horizontal lines across these points. So then I mark my shoulder, mark my neckline width, and then I mark my neckline depth. Now please, for your necklines are dynamic and change according to the design that you are working with, so please, you can do whatever you want to do with the neck depending on what you're trying to achieve. I'm just trying to show you how I draft the back of my princess that's on a regular day. So I've marked my bust at the bust, and I've marked my I've placed my underbust round on my half cut just like I did to the front. Now I'm going to add my regular allowance of 1.5 inches first of all. So the next thing will be my darts for the back. I'm marking my nipple to nipple at the back from top to bottom, and then from my shoulder I'm going to come to 7 inches and start my darts from 7 inches straight down. So first I mark my bust point to bust point, came from the shoulder to where 7 is, and straight down I'm going to hold a dart. So from the center line that I drew, I added half inch to the bottom and then did my back dart. whatever I kept for whatever the dart has taken, I have replaced on the side. So you cut it out. Now I wanted to give you guys a little bonus. Even when I sew my English words, I won't say I pad it. I don't pad my English words. What I do is I just iron Estee one time so that it stabilizes the fabric just a bit for me. Okay, so I hope that this tutorial helps you out with what you are cutting. Please, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I drop new content on this channel every Wednesdays and Saturdays. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.